Today I want to talk to you about the concept of multiplying. No, not math. This is leadership stuff, so all you folks can put away your TI-82s. Multipliers is a leadership concept you can find in a book by Liz Wizeman. The concept is through strong leadership, you can actually multiply the output of your teams. And no, I don't mean, work them harder or and to get twice out of them. That's harsh. That's not what I mean by multiplying. This concept is based on 4 styles of leadership where you actually encourage the best work and you get people to think harder and think more effectively and more efficiently, and that's how you're actually multiplying them. You're not literally multiplying the people, but you're actually creating better work, more effective work, and more efficient work. And of course there's a flip side of this. This is called diminishing, and so when you actually diminish people, you actually get less out of them. A person who's feeling uninspired only shows up with 60% of effort at work. Now imagine if you could get that extra 40% and get people thinking more effectively by multiplying them, then diminishing will be a thing of the past. The first multiplier is the talent magnet versus the empire builder. Talent literally flocks to these talent magnets because they empower, they develop, and they fully utilize their teams. The opposite of this are empire builders, where they just hire tons of people and they see a gap, they hire for the gap. And they're not really empowering their folks to fill those gaps and think bigger and think differently. Talent magnets ignore the traditional norms of what you think is intelligence or genius. They look at unconventional talent. They look at strictly finding great people. And so examples of traditional norms is, no offense, but if you have an MBA, MBAs are always known, oh, they're smarter, or years of experience. Talent magnets look beyond that and look at the actual skills of the people and bring in amazing people. And when you simply hire amazing people, you get to know that their superpower, the true talent magnet can find that native genius or that native superpower and unlock it and unleash it so that person can see beyond their potential and really multiply their potential. Empire builders, on the flip side, they don't recognize that talent, and what they do is they hire for gaps. The second type of multiplier is the Liberator versus the Tyrant. The Liberator creates an intense environment that requires everyone to bring their best thinking and their best work. This is an environment that makes it easy for release. This means the Liberator shows restraint and holds back from the conversation and allows everybody else to contribute and to throw out ideas and to bring their best. This is when a leader must shift from talking to listening. And when you do that, you really create a level playing field where ideas can come from anywhere and from anyone. This leader demands the best work and also defends the standards for the team. The Liberator also generates rapid learning cycles by sharing mistakes, admitting when they're wrong, and then learning from those mistakes. And by insisting that we learn from our mistakes, that actually shows everyone else that they're able to make mistakes as long as they learn from them too. Therefore creating that rapid learning environment. And when you can create a space where people are free to express themselves, ideas are free flowing, they're not afraid to make mistakes, that is when you create this environment where people can dig deep. I think you've all been part of these rooms, hopefully you have. It's that room when you get that adrenaline rush, when you have that feeling of you're solving such a huge challenge, and when you get home you're just completely exhausted, but you feel so rewarded and so accomplished because you were able to solve that problem. Now that is the true strength of a Liberator, providing that environment and fostering that on a daily basis. Of course, the opposite of that, the Diminisher, which is the Tyrant, creates an intense environment, but that environment is more based in fear, where people are afraid of making mistakes, they're afraid to let ideas flow, they feel diminished, and so that isn't what you want to do. You want people to be able to express themselves and think freely. Don't be a tyrant. The third type of multiplier is the Challenger versus the Know-It-All. This leader pushes the team without barking out orders. It's more about giving context and having the team understand the challenge at hand. This person needs to lay down the hard challenge, ask the real difficult questions, and then be fine stepping back and letting the team fill in the blanks. The Challenger also generates this confidence with the team that yes, this can be done. And it could be a lofty task, but instilling that confidence in the team and then laying the challenge at hand and letting them figure it out is the best way to empower and challenge teams to step up and let them surprise you, because they will. And in doing so, they're going to do it together. So as a team lays out the plan, they co-plan and they do these things together, it's much quicker. You get full buy-in and you're going to get results that you never thought could happen. And when you do that, and when the best ways to reinforce that success is plan out the early wins. What are the things that are going to turn the team around day 1, then day 2, day 3 wins? If you identify those wins along the way, it makes the success that much sweeter. On the other side of that, the diminisher, the know-it-all, all they want to do is let everybody know that they know it all. They just want to show off their knowledge. They don't create space for people to make mistakes or answer freely. They devise the plan, making the team more dependent on them. And so the team wastes their energy just trying to think, oh, what does this person want from us? What are their expectations? And trying to meet that. Now that's a way to waste people's time. Don't be know-it-all. And finally, the fourth liberator is the investor versus the micromanager. And it sounds pretty much like what it is. Investors invest in people, they empower their teams and give them true ownership to make the decisions that need to be made regardless of the leader. Micromanagers are in every little detail and they actually create this dependence on them. You don't want to do that. I hate micromanagers. Little do they know they're actually creating more work for themselves by being involved in all the little pieces. But by investing in your team, giving clear ownership to them, and having them be fully accountable for everything that they do, you can not only have the confidence in them that they'll perform, but that people will be hungry for more and more. And by doing this, you're making scaling, growth, development, everything much more achievable for the team. So hopefully you learned something, and if you did, click like, and we'll have more of this content out. But just as a reminder, people don't leave companies, they leave leaders. So if you are seeing a lot of attrition on your team, it may be something you need to look into yourself. And if you are a multiplier already, you probably don't realize it, but you have this high-performing team that just follows you around everywhere. And you can find this in lots of places. If you just look around the industry, look at businesses or all these different industries, you'll know who the multipliers are and you'll know who the diminishers are. You'll usually see multipliers, their team members usually go on to do bigger and better things. They become successful and they just breed leaders, right? Isn't the saying go, leaders breed leaders? So you can find those multipliers, you can see them, they do really well. You'll see the diminishers, the folks that always have attrition, they're stuck in this middle management layer and then they don't know why. And people just don't like to work for them. Or you'll see team members who start on their team actually move to another team and then all of a sudden see success. So, if you pay attention and you keep your eyes open, you'll know who the multipliers and diminishers are. And if you're going to hitch your wagon to a leader and someone that you think you can learn from and believe in, hitch your wagon to a multiplier. So, that being said, be a multiplier, expect your team to bring their best work, empower them, give them ownership, and challenge them. And most of all, let them surprise you, because they will. Alright, see you next time. Thanks.